surprised it took me this long to actually start talking about them.
I won't go on one big piece on them, simply because there isn't enough time in the fucking universe for me to accurately assess my feelings on all three.
But if I had to choose my, I guess in lack of a better term, favorite, it would probably be Bleach. Not because it's objectively better or anything, it just, well, entertains me the most.
Sure, it's not the best written or directed, but it manages to hold my attention the most.
However, today we'll be looking at the 342nd episode. Let me at least try to explain a little bit of this.
Endings are a tough thing to pull off. Some are great, others not so much.
However, Bleach produced what you could consider to be a definitive ending. So this really isn't more or less a look at the series itself, but how it theoretically ended. Was it good? Was it bad? Well, let's take a look and find out. After a bit of context.
After using his mega fuck-off attack against the main villain of the series, Ichigo went through a surprisingly good story where he was slowly losing his powers.
Wait, where have I heard that before? I'll worry about it later. This is Bleach 342.
The episode begins with Ichigo chasing a hollow and, let's just say, not doing as well as he used to be.
You know, Ichigo, I think the Soul Society may make things for some performance issues.
Rukia does manage to save his ass, and the two have a pretty decent moment together.
Most of the time you would have been able to easily dodge that attack with Flash Step.
I figured I could dodge him without Flash Step.
So instead you nearly got yourself killed.
That's always been a strong point of Bleach, the relationship between Ichigo and Rukia. Not in a romantic sense, but more the fact that they actually feel like very close friends who have been through some major shit together.
To make up for all the schoolwork I missed while I was out dealing with Aizen.
Wait, you're not actually supposed to mention that saving the world and being absent from class actually affects your school life. Amateurs.
In all seriousness, though, I love how this episode builds the inevitable. Sure, it can be a bit cheesy at times, but the pacing is downright masterful. This is further emphasized when Ichigo is having an even harder time dealing with the low-level hollow than the one in the beginning of the episode. Uryu and Rukia have to finish it off, and Ichigo is left to send the soul.
How much you want to bet that if this soul was that of a millennial, he'd be yelling at Ichigo and calling him a racist, saying, "Hollow lives matter"?
The next day, all the main and a few side characters go to an ice skating ring and have a very well-shot and well-paced day of fun. Sure, it's a bit cheesy, but it's effective nonetheless, and that's not always a bad thing.
Come on, give me something to make fun of here.
Rukia is confused why everyone is at the skating ring when she's wearing ice skates herself. Come on, guys, it's not that hard.
Come on, you're supposed to be professionals here.
And, of course, because there always has to be, there's an unnecessary scene with Cone that could have been cut out, and probably the episode would be better off for it.
Seriously, did anyone even like Cone?
On their way home, Rukia gets a hollow alert and Ichigo takes off.
This one's a big one! Let's go!
How has Ichigo not hit his head on a curb or fallen down a flight of stairs? Because he just kind of plops down after he does that thing with his badge. It's always bothered me.
The fight with the hollow is a tough one as Ichigo gets smacked around something fierce, obviously due to him being on his last legs when it comes to his powers. But after a pretty good speech from Rukia,
If you get hurt, then I'll help you. If you can't fight, then I'll fight in your place. If you're in pain, then I'll help you to deal with your pain. After all, we're friends, right?
they defeat the hollow and Ichigo passes out.
But is Ichigo's body still just laying there, possibly getting mugged or even violated by a homeless man?
Ichigo wakes up to all of his friends surrounding him, realizing that he has indeed lost all of his powers. Heading out into the street where his journey first began, he can't sense a thing. He and Rukia have one last exchange of their famous bickering, and then he slowly watches her vanish. The young man's journey ends where it all began.
This is perhaps one of the best finale episodes I have ever seen. And yes, I know that this isn't even the ending to the Bleach anime, which got canceled after a very, very, very long, or at least it felt like an eternity of an incredibly shitty, absolute abortion that was the Fullbring story. And then we got that stupid waste of time, fucking retarded ending. And it just basically was just a big middle finger fuck you to everybody, because it was just a read the manga ending. But that's besides the point. This, in my opinion, is the ending to Bleach. If you are going to watch the anime and not watch any of the filler, I recommend stopping here, because nothing is going to top it.
It may have been simple and straightforward. There may not have been a huge final battle, but it didn't need one. It had the right amount of emotion, it had great pacing and great animation, with everything coming full circle. And at the end of the day, it leaves you with a sense of closure and leaves you not only satisfied, but also just a little bit at peace.
Goodbye, Rukia. And thank you.
Wait a minute. This is like when Tommy lost his...